Boris Johnson another night in hospital. PM will follow doctor's orders amid rising concern over persistent coronavirus cough and temperature. As Dominic Raab admitted, he hasn't spoke to him since Saturday. If it's the first time on my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Boris Johnson in hospital being checked for persistent symptoms after positive coronavirus test 10 days ago. Downing Street stressed the PM is undergoing tests merely as a precaution on the advice of his doctor. Mr. Johnson, effective Deputy Dominic Raab, is chairing the government's morning crisis committee meeting. The Premier is still running a temperature more than 10 days after he was confirmed of having the killer virus. Hospitalization was announced shortly after the Queen addressed the nation in a rare televised message. She told Britain to take comfort in the knowledge that better days lies ahead when loved ones will reunited. Boris Johnson is facing another night after ministers said he would follow doctor's order amidst mounting fears over his persistent coronavirus symptoms. A tweet from the PM thanked brilliant NHS staff this afternoon after he was dramatically admitted to St. Thomas near Downing Street overnight. With doctors alarmed that his temperature has still not dropped 10 days after his positive diagnosis. The 55-year-old effective Deputy Dominic Raab, who chaired the government's daily coronavirus committee meeting this morning in the absence of the Premier, dodged giving any timetables for him being back to acting this evening. Mr. Raab also revealed that he had not spoken to Mr. Johnson personally since Saturday. He is in charge, the Foreign Secretary told the Daily Press briefing. The PM will take the medical advice he gets from his doctor. In spite of claims Mr. Johnson is only having routine tests, there are warnings that from minister that he has risked his health by keeping up a frenetic work rate, while the Tory mayor of the West Midlands said he must learn he is not indispensable and has to rest. One MP suggested that he was too keen to emulate his hero, Winston Churchill, by defining illness. Others said they believe Mr. Raab had already effectively taken over while the Premier recuperate. Medical officer Chris Whitney, making his first appearance before the camera after a week of coronavirus self-isolation, said he was not the doctor who urged the Premier to seek hospital treatment, but he had told him to follow the advice. Downing Street has stressed Mr. Johnson was not admitted as an emergency case, but the Premier spokesman fueled rumor by refusing to say whether there has been a diagnosis of pneumonia, while dismissing claim emanating from Russia that he is on a ventilator as disinformation. Asks if symptoms are mild, the word previously used to describe them, the spokesman insists they were persistent and include a temperature and a cough. Mr. Johnson tweeted this afternoon, late night on the advice of my doctor. I went to the hospital for some routine tests as I still experience coronavirus symptoms. I am in good spirit and keeping in touch with my team as we work together to fight this virus and keep everyone safe. I'd like to thank you I'd like to say thank you to all the brilliant NHS staff taking care of me and other in this difficult time. You are the best of Britain. Stay safe, everyone, and please remember to stay at home to protect the NHS and save lives. It emerged at the weekend that Mr. Johnson's pregnant partner, Carrie Simond, has also been suffering from coronavirus, although she's now on the meds. Another turbulence day in the coronavirus crisis. The UK has declared 439 more deaths, taking the toll to 5,373, and 3,802 new positive tests have pushed the numbers of patients up to 51,608. But in a glimmer of hope, that means the number of people dying of COVID-19 is now falling for 2 days in a row. Humiliated Nicole Sturgeon has admitted the effort to combat coronavirus has been damaged after she was forced to accept the resignation of Scotland's chief medical officer for flouting her own lockdown rules. Chief Medical Officer Chris Whitney is out of self-isolation. The Queen has hailed the sacrifice of frontline NHS workers battling the virus in a rare televised address that moved the nation as she praised the resolve of the British people to stay at home, telling them, "We'll meet again." Worrying figure shows the UK coronavirus epidemic was set to overtake that suffered by France and Italy. Health Secretary Matt Hancock threatened to revoke the right to exercise outdoors if people continue to flout in social distances measures. A 58-year-old from Essex became the first midwife to die with coronavirus in England. My viewers and subscribers, once again, I just want to say to you, Boris Johnson said that he's in good spirit and keeping in touch with his team as he work together to fight this virus and keep everyone safe. Likewise, I say to you, my viewers and subscribers, and those who are here for the first time, let us keep in good spirit and keep in touch with each other, but keep ourselves safe. And in the midst of all this, practice distancing. It's very important. Once again, this is J Khan TV out of Zurich, saying unto each and every one of us, so stay safe and walk in peace, my friend. Shalom.